Hi guys, welcome to Extra Talk. We have a very special panel today with Brobbey and Yaiderenko. We have so many things to discuss. Basically our recent form, but more what should we do this weekend against Zwolle? You know, they're battling for relegation. We need the points. Should we go with the same team? Should we do something different? We saw young Ajax playing. Wondering what Yaiderenko has to say, wondering what Brobbey has to say. But before we start, guys, I just, on behalf of the We Talk crew, Brobbey, Papimento, Ajax, and me, and also other members of the We Talk crew, we want to thank United View, but also all the other channels that have been inviting us to share our, minds about Ten Hag and how we see things. Much appreciated. Also, thank you for the new subscribers, the new followers as well. Very much appreciated. So I just want to put it out there. Brobbey, do you want to say something before we start?
No, just one love, man. One love for all the people watching, all the subscribers, the followers on Twitter.
Yeah.
Much appreciated, man. Let's continue.
Yeah. They say football community is the best community, right?
For sure, for sure.
All right. Guys, before we start about this week's game, right, against Zwolle, I just want to go about the news that was talked about Haller and Bayern Munich. Haller has been, there has been rumors about Haller also with Dortmund recently, not too long ago, and Inter even was mentioned, and now it's Bayern Munich. Apart from the fact whether you question whether it's real or not real, let's say if a party comes in the summer, right, for Haller, what's your overall view on this? And I want to start with Yaiderenko first.
Sell.
Okay, hold on. Sell, but what do you mean by sell? I mean, we bought him for 22 and a half. Wait, we bought him for 22 and a half. And let's say 25. No, but let's say it's 25 million. You sell him like even for 15 or 20, or what's your stance on this?
No, seriously. You want to make a margin on a player like that, especially when he has in the numbers.
Why is it like this? He has the numbers, man.
Yeah, but if you really look at it objectively, then it's only his numbers he can show, because with the playing ball, I've said this earlier. I don't think he's that of an impressive player. Within the team, he doesn't seem to help the attack or the midfield or whatever. He just scores goals, and most of them, if I look at it, I can. I'm mostly saying, oh, I would have scored that one. My mother would have scored that one. My grandmother would have scored that one. 70% are tap-ins, and you have to be there. That's true, but as an Ajax pitch, you're getting so many chances, and he does. And if you realistically look at his performance, and especially if you compare that to Brobbey, I don't think you should continue with him. He has the numbers, that's phenomenal, but make use of that and sell him, because he's not the player that is going to help the team perform better, in my opinion.
Okay, I have so many things to react on what you just said, but
Oh.
I will definitely do that. But I want Brobbey to share his view also, and maybe he wants to react on what you said as well, or maybe he has the same view. Let's see.
No, I'm partially agreeing with Yaiderenko. The fact that he said that he doesn't help the attack or defense, I do not agree on him with that, because you could see that he's working very hard to try to pressure their defense. I mean, the start of the defense begins with Haller. But I do agree with him that we need to sell him, mainly because I think we can do much better than a type of Haller. Haller has had an excellent season with so many goals in the Champions League, also so many goals in the Eredivisie. But those, as Yaiderenko said, those were mainly tap-ins. What we need to look into, what we need to search in an Ajax striker is not only the link-up play, which he sucks at a bit. We also need a striker who can create chances on his own, who can dribble if needed, if possible. And that's something that Haller really lacks. So he's a great goal scorer, but he is so dependent on what's coming in from their colleagues on the right wing and on the left wing. So yeah, I would say 40 million. I mean, those are the rumors. Yeah, get rid of him, and not in a bad way, like get rid of him, but he's done very properly, and we can get that profit. I don't think we will get much more than 40 million if you look at what he's capable of. So yeah, this is the opportunity that we need to seize.
Okay, Sahbi Yaiderenko. So my point, right? It's a very tough one for me because I think, like Sahbi said, if you receive 40 million for Haller, I think you should seriously consider it. However, there is a big question mark from my side. You don't want to sell him for 40?
If you're getting a bid from $40 million euros or dollars or pounds or whatever,
yeah,
even before the facts comes out, you have to already sign the document. 40 million is ludicrous in my opinion.
Okay, but let's say it happens. Let's say it's in the range of 35 to 40. 35. I'll cut 5 million just for you.
Take it.
All right. Listen, disregarding the number, disregarding whether it's true or not, I just want to say one thing, right? I mean, we have been critical on the channel about Haller. Today, before we did this talk, I went to see his stats, right? And I know you guys said, okay, he's making tap-ins and these kind of things. However, he has played 39 games this season, all competitions combined, 39, and he scored 33 goals, guys. 33 goals. And we're not talking about only Eredivisie. 11 of those, 1/3 of those is Champions League. You know, now let's say we sell him, right? Let's say you guys say, okay, no, we need a better player to make the link up play, and he has to have more depth, more speed, be more explosive, all these kind of things. Where do we gonna get a player like that also scores 33 goals in one season? I'm really wondering what you guys have to say about that. Yaiderenko.
Ajax should have a scouting system for that.
Okay.
And in all seriousness, if you look in Europe, I'm always advocating, or mostly advocating, Lozek from Sparta Prague.
Yeah.
But there are loads of talents within Europe and within South America that could easily fit much better as Haller does. And you say his stats are terrific. His stats in minor games are terrific. Look at the Benfica games, look at the cup final, look at the last 5 to 10 games in the Eredivisie, nothing. So,
okay.
So in my opinion, yes, he has phenomenal figures, but only in when it was going right, when we really needed him.
But isn't that the way it works, Yaiderenko? The striker is dependent on the team. And I agree with you, you know, like the Benfica game, he didn't have the impact he had in the group stages. But also recent games, you're referring to the recent games, the whole team wasn't playing well. How many services did he get? How many crosses did he get? Honestly, how many chances did he get in general? I mean, look, I'm not only being a devil's advocate, but I'm really questioning whether we should put all the blame on Haller for this. Because the team, but look, one more thing, just one more thing, quickly. The way the team has been constructed by Ten Hag this season is Haller is the end product. You know, the ball goes to the width, you know, Anthony gets the ball, Tadic gets the ball. They're much more crossing the ball in the, in the yard, and Haller has to be there. Now Klaas also is there, but usually Haller is the one that is the target man to finish the chances, you know? So in that sense, that's not happening in recent weeks. And he hasn't scored in recent weeks, I know. And I know he's not the best player in all these arguments you guys bring up. But should we be that easy to sell a player that we know is a guarantee for so many goals, Sahbi?
Yeah, because we need to put all our effort to get Brobbey back. I mean, Brobbey has the same characters as Haller. I mean, in the aerial goals, headers, he's good at it as well. He has speed. He has the same strength, maybe even stronger. So focus. I mean, sell Haller for 35, 40 million. I mean, great job. He did a great job. I'm not bashing him or something in some sort of way, or like bullying away, but it's a terrific price to sell. Get Brobbey, and as Yaiderenko said, you could get a Lozek, who is a good player, who is also capable of playing on the wings, or seek in the South American market, but put Brobbey as a first striker, and let, for example, if we get a talent from South America, for, I don't know, like an Anthony kind of player, but a striker, let him blend in, let him train with the team, and then we got a second striker who's capable of doing great things. With Haller, we already got the ceiling. I mean, he already did the utmost, and I don't see him doing it all over again next season if we are in the Champions League. I don't think he will do that. So, I mean, you bought him for 22 and a half, sell him higher, and then it's a profit. It's a win-win situation. I don't think he will really be bothered if he would go to Bayern as a replacement of Lewandowski. I mean, it's not like he will become a second striker. So it's a chance for him as well. If it's true, of course.
Interesting. Yeah, it's very interesting what you're saying. You know, that you don't believe that next year he will be able to replicate this season's numbers.
I don't think so.
But
Maybe in Eredivisie, but I don't think it will happen in the Champions League. Clubs, defenders already know him. This is his first season in the Champions League. Maybe the defenders did not know him that well, or were a bit surprised by his capabilities. But I don't think that will happen again next season. And we need that something extra. And Brobbey has that something extra. He was a youth product. Unfortunately, if you want to get him back, you will have to pay for it. Mm-hmm. So that's a real bummer. But with the funds that we receive from Haller, you can get additional strikers, like 2 at least.
Yeah.
So let's do that.
Yeah, but Yaiderenko, one question, right? Just to finish off this topic. If we sell Haller, is he the priority that we should be selling right now? Because we know there are a lot of players leaving. Should we add also Haller on top of the pile and look for so many new players next season?
Yeah, I would. But basically, but I'm looking back at Bergkamp. I'm looking back at Pettersson. I'm looking back at Kluivert. And if you have that in your system, and then you look at Haller, it's different planets. Maybe
but Yaiderenko, one thing, right? Sahbi, you two, just one more argument, counter argument from my side. You guys said we have a scouting list. We should be able to scout somebody who's better than Haller for the price range that we have, right? It's not that easy. We know that the striker position at Ajax is always the real problem. If it was that easy, we would have other players, or it would be easy to replicate these kind of things. If you look back, even our 18-19 season, we had to play with Tadic in the center. Dolberg was not performing like the Dolberg was in the Bos year. And before that, who did we have? If we look at from the Boer era, we had Milik, okay, but we also had Siem de Jong playing as a striker, you know, these kind of things. So
Klaas as a striker. Klaas
exactly.
As well. No, but I mean, it's from the Boer era. We don't have to think about that because there were no funds. We had to like anticipate on the funds that we already had, and maybe perhaps bring on youth products to fill up that position. Mm-hmm. But as I said, Haller, great player, but he has done enough, and he can't do more. I'm trying to compare with Champions League level. I'm trying to compare with top clubs when we play against top clubs. I mean, in the Eredivisie, even if you put Klaassen in the striker position, he will score. He will score the goals.
You think Klaassen will produce the same numbers as Haller?
I don't know if it's the same numbers because, as you said, he is the end product. Klaassen might even, I'm not saying, by the way, Klaas should be a striker. Let it be clear. I mean, I'm just saying like Klaassen could do almost the same as Haller, maybe not scoring through headers, but he can. His strength is always to be in the right position at the right time. That's what basically Haller does as well.
All right.
I mean, did you see any real dribble from Haller and scoring from that action, from the dribble? It was mainly tap-ins, it was headers, and maybe 1 or 2 goals, of which he like did something small and then scored. I mean, he doesn't have that X factor, and just like Anthony has, and we bought him for less than Haller, or maybe even the same amount.
Yeah.
So why can't we produce?
But still, the striker position, that's the thing. That's the hot.
Yeah, but we
issue.
have Brobbey. I mean, we should aim for Brobbey. Not we have him, but we should aim for him. So and he's young, Brobbey. So if we get him for the right amount, he can become our first striker for the upcoming years.
Okay. Well,
and in the meantime, we can focus on other strikers.
The logical question, just to really wrap this Haller discussion, and we have to apologize to Joost already because I know you've been fuming about you guys talking about Haller like that, and especially wanting Brobbey back, especially wanting Brobbey back as well. But what is the limit you guys think? Let's say we were going to negotiate right with Leipzig and we want to permanently sign Brobbey. What's the maximum amount you guys are thinking of we should spend on him? Yaiderenko, you go first.
I think it's I think that's very, very difficult for me. One, I don't think Brobbey is the most fantastic talent there is in the striker position, but I do actually agree with the way Sakbi set it up. Add Brobbey because you just know that that's going to work at Ajax. You just know it's going to work. And if you have a talent behind that, I think that's perfect to a perfect balance for the striker position. It doesn't even matter if it's Lojek or someone from Brazil or some other big talent, because in young Ajax, I don't see it around that position. But with Brobbey, you made the mistake that you let him go. So I think it's a logical choice to get him, but I don't want to, how do you say it, give a precedence for the future.
Yeah, exactly.
That you buy players back without any problem and spend millions and millions on that.
Yeah.
I would try to be careful with that.
Good point.
But Brobbey is a walking advertisement, so that's a nightmare for Hamstra at this moment, I think, because he's saying, "I want to go back to Ajax. I love Ajax. Next season, I'm going to play with Ajax."
Yeah, and at the same time,
United.
and at the same time, Leipzig directors are rubbing their hands warmly, like, "Wow, this is going so good." You know?
Yeah.
They're texting him, go on, go on, go on.
But you can also see it from a positive side. I mean, if he states that he only wants to go to Ajax and he doesn't want to stay at Leipzig, it's already disturbing for Leipzig, because you have a player who's not happy at a club and he only wants to go to Ajax. Just like Gravenberch only wants to go to Bayern Munich.
Yeah.
I mean, Ajax is with his back against the wall. They don't have any leverage. They don't have anything. They need to sell him in order to get the funds.
And this is the reason, if you immediately go on the market and buy Lojek or another big talent in the striker position, you have a little bit more leverage towards Leipzig.
Yeah,
and you can use
towards
that.
Leipzig. Yeah, indeed. That's true. That's true. But from my side, I would maximum would be 10 million. I wouldn't go more than that amount. I mean, he hasn't proved himself at Leipzig. He is not a first striker at Ajax at this moment. It's if you look at it, it's Haller. So I mean, 10 million is for me is sufficient. I wouldn't go higher. He has a contract, I think, for 4 years already, because he signed for 5 years. I assume.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
he signed a long term. Yeah, true.
yeah, long term. So that would mean that 10 million would be. I mean, 10 million for a player who you got for free, and he only played like minutes. Yeah, I mean, it's a win-win situation for all parties. Although Ajax would be losing 10 million, but yeah, on the other hand, you would get a player who knows the system, who knows how to play, who knows how to cooperate with his colleagues. So it will be a win-win situation.
This is the tricky part. In the one hand, you don't want to spend money. In the other hand, it's the same with the extension of Onana that didn't happen. If you have to look for a striker on European top level, you're gonna pay. You're just gonna pay. And at that moment, how high is the amount that Leipzig wants really?
Yeah, I mean, look, we can talk about it for a very long time. I just wanted your opinion about Haller, and of course, you guys brought up Brobbey, so we went a little bit into that as well. Let's focus on this weekend. I want to focus on the game, the upcoming game. We know the situation. 4 more games, 4 points ahead, much better goal difference. Every single game counts at this stage. The 3 points is all that matters, and we have seen that in recent weeks as well. We're not playing our best football, but we're still winning. A lot of players don't have that freshness, that they had in the first half of the season, struggling a little bit with form, even our captains, the veterans, etc., etc. You guys can talk all about it in a minute. My question is, do you guys have any explanation for why we are performing like that in terms of our play? We're still winning, but why are we not playing the same way we played before? And the second question is, should Ten Hag, or would you, let me put it this way, make some changes at this stage, of the season? Because although we're not playing that well, we're still winning games. So it's a very delicate balance at the moment. I will go with Sahbi first.
Yeah, Juan, I mean, you're saying that we win games, but in what way do we win games? It's sweat and tears, having gray hairs. I mean, I became 10 years older since last weekend because of the game. I mean, we have a bit of luck. We need to be honest about that. I mean, the opponent had some chances. Ajax had some chances as well, but we play really predictable football at this moment. And the reason is quite simple. We don't have any depth in the attack. We play with Berghuis, who doesn't know how to dribble past his opponent. His shots are terrible. His crosses are terrible. Tadic also out of form. Missy, Haller didn't score already for more than a month. So it's just not blending. And Klaassen, he doesn't bring that extra as a number 10. So we lack a lot. We lack creativity. We lack depth. We lack speed. So we can't. We can't attack in a proper way just as we did in the first half. So
wait a minute. I'm summing up what you're saying.
Yeah.
Lack of creativity, lack of depth, lack of speed. I mean, obviously we miss Anthony. So you're mentioning all 3 things that Anthony has, right?
Exactly. Yeah, because he has an X factor, and not only that X factor, he also brings a confidence boost to the rest of the squad of the starting 11. I mean,
but is it that simple? Is it only Anthony? Is that the biggest question mark or the biggest reason?
Well, it's one of the biggest reasons. That's definitely. And Berghuis, if you put him on a 10 position, I think he would do a lot more. I think we'll do a lot more. He's more suited in the 10 position. Although we bought him for the winger's position, he doesn't have any added value there. So what I would do is I would put Berghuis on a 10 position and put a player like Kudus or even Darami as a right winger, just to have some depth, just to have some speed.
How about the hat-trick hero of young Ajax recently?
Yeah, I think he did terrific, but I don't know whether we should put him on the spot again from the starting minutes. I think he would definitely need some minutes so he can come in the second half. But I think it would be too soon to put him in the starting lineup.
So before I go to Yaiderenko, right, Sahbi? So if I understand correctly, the only thing you would change for the Zwolle game is you would take out, I think, Klaassen. That's what you're saying. Put Berghuis there. You will leave Haller as a striker, and you put Okay.
No. I wasn't finished. I mean, I would put Brobbey.
Okay.
I would put Brobbey as a striker.
Okay.
I would leave Tadic. I would play with Berghuis as a 10. I would start as a right winger Kudus, if not Darami. In midfield, Taylor should definitely he deserved that starting spot. And Gravenberg.
For whom? Okay, so together with Gravenberg. Okay, so
I mean, we're playing against Zwolle, so I don't think.
Well, hold on. We're not just playing against Zwolle. We're playing against a team who's fighting for relegation. That's a different story.
Yeah, but they play against a team that wants to be league champions. I mean,
but Ajax always but I know, but Ajax
we play at home.
Okay, but still. Yeah, but look, we had the same situation with Go Ahead Eagles. We had the same situation with Sparta, but still there were difficult games. So I wouldn't just brush it off like that.
I'm not brushing it off. I'm just saying we don't need Alvarez in that game. Okay. We need footballers. We need Gravenberg.
Because they're going to sit back. They're going to sit back in their own half. That's why, basically.
We need to push. We need to push them. And I mean, the most defensive midfielder who would be Gravenberg. Mm-hmm. I mean, he doesn't have to be a specialist in defending. As long as he can close the gaps, he runs with his direct opponent, there shouldn't be any problem. And that's why I would always leave Timber in the center. I wouldn't put him on the right back again. I would rather
who would play there if Mazraoui is not available for you?
I will play Regeer.
But Van Gelderen was playing.
I don't know why Van Gelderen was playing. Seriously, I mean, he's a joke. In my opinion, he's a joke. I would rather play Regeer as right back.
Don't talk like that about our players, man. Come on.
No,
first you're bashing Haller, now you're bashing a young player who just made his debut. Come on,
he's not Ajax. He's not Ajax material. I mean, that's quite clear for me. I saw a lot of games at young Ajax when I was at that stadium. I saw him as well. He was so poor, and I still don't understand
why. He's not wrong.
Yaiderenko, hold on. You will come in 1 minute. 1 minute. Sabi, just
wrong.
just finish what you wanted to say. So I'll go to Yaiderenko as well.
No, I mean, what I would say is I would always play Timber as a center back because he is not a liability. He's strong at that position. If Martinez is available, we got that central duo. Never change that. If Martinez is still not available, okay, put Blink there. Okay, so Nico can play. Regeer as right back.
I think honestly it's gonna be a puzzle as well because Schuurs is unavailable, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. So Blind, it's gonna be Blind and Timber, and then Nico on the left. And I have much trust in the fact that we have Nico and Timber who can solve the issues of Blind.
Yeah.
So.
All right, Yaiderenko, anything you want to add to what Sahbi said, or you have other arguments that you want to bring to this debate?
No, I think Sahbi is right because with this form and this fitness, I don't believe you're going to win from AZ, which is the game which decides.
Okay, but one step at a time. Let's focus on Zwolle now. Let's not go too much.
No.
Okay.
No, you have to win that game.
Yes.
Sure, you have to win the Zwolle game, but you have to win that game, and you know almost for certain that you're going to be in trouble if you continue on this path.
Okay.
So the game against Zwolle is the only game and the ideal game since it's the number 18.
I think you guys are really thinking too lightly about this game. I mean, honestly, guys.
But in all seriousness, you're talking about the championship and you're playing against the number 18. You have to be convinced that you're going to beat the hell out of that number 18.
I think they're 16, by the way, but
that's it.
I know what you mean. Okay. All right, so it's the perfect time. You guys see it as the perfect time now, playing at home against this team that sits back, playing with those players.
One, you have to change something in the atmosphere, in the vibe, but you also have to give some players some rest. Like I would think about benching Tadic, because he is mostly in these kind of games, like against AZ, he's the man, but he's not fit, he's not in form. Give him a day rest or an hour or whatever. You can always decide how the game when you see how the game goes, but those are, I think, the choices to stir something up, because you need something more against AZ.
But you know how unlikely it sounds, right? Benching our captain,
Yeah, that's
right
unlikely.
at the end of the season, right? I know what you mean, but let me throw something else, right? Last week, they were talking to Ten Hag, and Ten Hag said something very interesting. He always does, actually, but especially this one. He said, "This team never trained so good as last week. It was the best training since he was appointed as a manager." I mean,
there was only one team that could have won the cup. Okay, so how did PSV win it?
All right, I know enough. Yaiderenko, quickly, we have to wrap up this video. I just want your view, or just, do you agree with the whole formation, or the whole, the players that Sahbi mentioned that should start against Zwolle, or do you have a little bit of different opinion about this?
I think I have a similar bit of different opinion, because I think I wouldn't start with Tadic, just to give him some rest before the big game against AZ, and I would try either Univar, either Daramy, not because I think Daramy deserves it, but just to stir something up, to get a bit more depth, a bit different forward game, just to stir things up, and to hope that you play a decent game, or at least it isn't so hard as the last games, so you build a little bit of confidence, and then you have a Tadic that is a bit better rested and sharp for that all-important game against AZ.
I mean, can I add something?
Quickly.
No, just to add up, just to say, it's not an option to play with the same 11 that we played last weekend. It's just not an option. Our luck, the Ajax luck, might run out this week or next week. I mean, if you have seen what kind of results we had in the last couple of weeks, the narrow wins, the last-minute goals. I mean, of course, it's a PSV style, but it won't continue like this for the upcoming 4 games. We need to change something. I mean, the PSV players already stating that they have full confidence that Ajax will slip up, and I can imagine they are thinking like this because
not only the PSV, but also Ademos.
Ademos.
Juan, please, man, stop joking.
And Willy van der Kerkhoff.
All right.
He is a joke.
It's clear, Sahbi. Thank you guys so much. I want the viewers to react on what we discussed today, and let us know what you think, about Haller and also about the upcoming games.